So what does McAfee know that we don't, or does he know what we do know?
I mean,
well, he's sitting right next to Herbstreit, who was with Bill, 2 days earlier?
Okay.
Right? So, I think that there's something there, that McAfee probably has some level of information coming from that. And he's sitting there and there are off-air conversations before these things, and you know that they go through things. And so he's offering his hand there, and Kraft kind of looked like, I know I'm supposed to go along with this, but this is really uncomfortable for me, Completely. And it felt to me like an extension of off-air conversations, whether they're with Herbstreit or with Kraft himself.
I mean, for McAfee to ask that question, or he didn't even ask a question, he just made that statement so definitively, it leads you to believe that something was said to him off the air, or like Bird is saying. So it was a little bit of an awkward moment. I can't fault Kraft. He reached out for his hand, but I just thought the question, or the statement, from him was so definitive. It makes all of us that cover the team, I think, that's another sign that maybe it's heading where we think it's.
You guys pointed out the Al Michaels thing on the air.
Well, hold on. Well, Greg, your thought first.
Oh, I was just going to say, I don't read anything in the Kraft's handshake. I mean, Pat extended his hand.
Yeah.
What's he going to do? We've all sort of had those conversations with Robert where we've sort of said something pointed and he just sort of offers his hand. Yep. That's the normal MO for Robert.
Okay, so the thing you're referring to is during the broadcast on Thursday, Al Michaels going over the scenarios and what could happen with Bill Belichick. And he threw out the television thing, and he did it in a detailed way that I really hadn't heard anyone really talk about. And it makes so much sense to me that Bill's got leverage there with TV. And Al Michaels said, hey, what if he just goes into the booth? I mean, those guys make about $1 million a game at minimum. So if Bill is negotiating with his new team about his salary, or even the Patriots for his existing salary, and he's asking for his $20 million, he can easily say to these teams, guys, I can go to do TV for a year,
right?
Take my paycheck from the Patriots after they fire me and make another 20 on TV. So, I think, and I don't know, did he tell Michaels that? Did his people tell Michaels that and Herbstreit that? And, Michaels even put Belichick in the booth with Brady on Fox next year, and you have this dream team. So it's like, that felt to me like, I don't know, someone laying some foundation there.
And it also creates plausible deniability if you're working back channels over the next few weeks, where when it comes to be nut cutting time and we're in January and maybe the Patriots are seeking compensation, he could start negotiating with the networks as if all this stuff just appeared out of nowhere. And then it's like, well, if you really want compensation, Robert, I don't want to go somewhere that's going to give up a first-round pick for me because I'm going to want to use a first-round pick on a player. So I'll just go over here to television. And that gives him some leverage in those talks, too.
I think it's a little ace in the hole, Ted. Yeah. I mean, do you think he'd be good at the job, by the way, on TV?
I don't think he'd be that. I don't think he would say much of anything that would be all that earth-shattering. I think he would toe the line, Mike. I know how you feel about that. That's not good television. Right. I think he might have some, stuff behind the scene, just the football X's and O's that people might find fascinating. But I don't think he's going to say anything that's going to really.
No.
I think it depends on his role.
He could be great.
Right.
No, I don't care what his role is.
Of course he could be.
I mean, because he has all the knowledge you could possibly need. We've all seen the sense of humor that does exist in there. Yep. We've all seen him take shots at people and be critical of people, his players, other players off the record. So if he could bring some of that to the microphone, he'd be spectacular. I don't think he'll do it. I don't think Brady will do it.
Well, you saw the fraternity there on Saturday too, the way he treated Lee Corso. That sort of tells you everything.
Yeah, is Bill going to second guess other coaches?
The only thing that he's going to do is go on to a studio show, and he's going to do X's and O's and tell you what each team does well. He's not going to get on there and say, this is the guy that we would go after if we were going against the Patriots.
That would be the good stuff.
That would be
the good stuff, because he's coached against everybody in the NFL.
And he knows all the coaches' weaknesses.
Yeah. So, look, I just think it's leverage for him. He's just creating leverage because he's going to be negotiating with the Patriots, with his new team. And if there's, the more offers he has, the more things he has in his back pocket, the more leverage he has. And I think he's going to use that to his advantage. And he should.